the mat. So we're coming to our Ujjayi breath this morning. So that's when we close that little glottal point at the back of our throat, and it's a little bit like snoring, called ocean breath, remember. So find your Ujjayi breath when you're ready. Start to find that noise in the back of your throat. We're still inhaling, exhaling through the nostrils, but you can feel that reverberation through your jaws and into your ears. The Ujjayi breath we can make as strong or as whispery as we like. And what I want you to focus on here as we're doing it this morning, I haven't got my glasses on, doesn't help, is that the receiving this morning. So yesterday we thought the mantra, receive the breath, give the breath. Here we're receiving energy, we're thinking of. Ujjayi breath's a great one for energizing. So now that you've found it, it's receiving the energy this morning and giving the energy on the exhale. So you're giving the energy back. So as you breathe in, you're receiving the life force. Try and make it nice and long and slow, not too strong, just what you need this morning. Receive what you need. If we over-energize or activate, it's not a great thing to do. And then on the exhale, you'll be thinking of giving the energy back. The energy you don't need, you're giving back. So focus on the breath, find the strength you need. If you can't quite get the sound of the Ujjayi breath, don't worry too much about it. It comes eventually, it clicks, and you think, ah, that's what she meant. Just breathe, but think about receiving energy and giving energy back. The receiving is important because we gain a life force. The giving is important because we release all the staleness, dullness, toxins, anything we don't need anymore in our body. And releasing that to give space for the next receipt of life force. Okay. Oops. So we're just focusing on the Ujjayi breath, receiving energy and giving the energy back. Okay, so we're on our knees. Let go of the Ujjayi breath for a second. So we're going to try and use it as we move this morning, as we warm up. And we're thinking about that, receiving the energy and giving the energy. So if you can use those receive and give just even as your mantra as you move. So on our knees, we are going to go up and down on our knees. If you're sitting in your bottom, just use the arm movements and do the best you can in that position. So when you're ready, find the Ujjayi breath again. We're going to inhale and we're going to receive the energy as we roll up. Take your arms up above your head, in front of you, not to the sides, but reaching up through the fingers so that you've got a straight line from knee to fingertip. And then rolling down just gently and give the energy back. So find your Ujjayi breath. Take 2 or 3 more of these, just rolling up, finding the breath, finding that little mantra, thinking of drawing in and receiving the energy as you move up and open. As you sit down and close a little bit, you're giving the energy back, you're softening, you're releasing. Take one more with those thoughts in mind. Thinking of squeezing the glutes a little bit to open up the hip flexors. It's going to be working in that area quite a lot this morning. So connect to that area around your pelvis. When you come back down, let go of the breath for a second. This time we're going to go up. And as we come down, we're going to take the arms down and roll into a little bit of cat back. But we're going to stay up on our knees this time. So when we're ready, inhale up, receive the energy. As you exhale, give the energy and just stay up, squeeze the glutes, hold on to the steer in the bottom half, roll forward a little bit, not too far, opening up the back of the body and the exhale. Inhale, rolling back up. So really squeeze your glutes, push forward through the hip flexors, find that steer in the bottom half, keep the hips over the knees. It's the upper body that's moving here on the exhale. Quite strong with your arms in front of you. If that's too strong, let the arms come down. It's kind of bowing movement. So inhale, exhale. We're really raising up through the Uddiyana Bandha area here. to curve forward. Come back up to the top. Exhale, sit back down. So this time we're going to do the same thing, but as we come, we'll sit down with the arms above the head as we exhale and fold forward, but we're thinking of keeping a long front body this time. So there's not the cat back, it's not so much of a curvy back. Be careful though, if your arms above your head, it's quite strong through your shoulders and back. If it feels wrong, take your arms down and just literally bow as you come down like this. So that's the movement we're doing with the body. So we're keeping the heart forward, keeping a long front body, keeping the chin engaged to support the neck. Okay, so when you're ready, inhale, you may have started, that's fine. Inhale up, think of extension, not a back bend. Exhale, sink back towards your heels, hands in front of you, quite hard with your hands above your head. So take it easy. If you don't like it, take your arms down, back up. Keep the tummy engaged, keep the glutes engaged, support that lower back. One more up. And lower. And release the arms down to your side. So quite strong, that one. Please listen when I say that because I mean it. And then just walk yourself forward, come into extended child's pose. Head slightly off the floor, we're going to take side bends here. So walk your hands to the right. Stay there, you can either put your one hand on top of the other if you want a bit more extension, otherwise just stay here. Find your Ujjayi breath, the strength you need this morning. And inhale 3 breaths into the back of your body. Could just be a whisper you need, or it might be a lot more energy you feel you need to draw in. Think about that left hip and try and draw it back to extend that side bend, feeling a bit more. Feel that giving and receiving in your body as well as your breath, and then walk back to center and walk over to your left. Again, head can be off the floor. If you want to try and pop it down to the floor, then that's fine, but make sure your neck feels comfortable. Otherwise, tuck the chin to hold the weight of the head. Or pop your head on one of your arms if that's easier. And breathe. We've had a couple of breaths already, so take another 2. Finding the Ujjayi breath on this side, thinking that hip on the right side this time, drawing it back down a little bit towards your heel. Nice big open space you're finding on the side body. And then walk the hands back to center. Walk the hands in then, slowly roll back up. Eyes open, connected. We're going to come up onto our knees again now, and we're going to take a side bend. So inhale up, exhale there. Inhale, take the left arm up, staying up. Exhale over to your right. I'm going to take 3 on each side. So exhale the arm back down. Same arm comes back up again. Squeeze the glutes, draw the tummy in, strong bottom half. Exhale, arm hip to hip on your right side again. Keep that left knee connected though and push down through it as you draw yourself back up. Exhale the arm back down. One more on this side. Inhale up. We're finding extension, remember, to make the space to fold over and exhale over to your right again. Back up to the top. Exhale the arm down. Stay up. We're taking the right arm up this time. So inhale the right arm up. Really squeezing the glutes, drawing the tummy in. Exhaling the right over to the left, sorry. Keep that right knee connected, both knees connected to the floor, both front of the feet think of. Arm comes down, 2 more on this side. Inhale the right arm up. Think of the squareness of your shoulders, so watch you're not tipping forward or backwards. Feel that lovely extension again on the open side. Feel the contraction on the other side. So one is receiving, one is giving. Inhale last time on this side. Exhale over. Using the strength of the Ujjayi breath to help you through the movement. Inhaling back up. Exhale the arm down. Sit back down on the bottom. We're going to come up now and we're thinking of this bottom stira here. So it's very like preparing for camel. We're not doing camel today, but we are doing something similar. So take the hands round to the back of the body, palms onto just the top of your glutes. So the heel of your hand is just below your waist. Walk them in as close as you can to the center line of your body. And then think of opening and rolling out your collarbones. So as you roll them out, your elbows will be able to come a little bit closer together on the back of your body. So we're thinking of squeezing the arms towards each other, squeezing that spot between the shoulder blades. Now draw the tummy in. And then raise up onto your knees. So here we're thinking of the knees and the hips being in line. There's no going forward or backwards through the hips. We're going to squeeze your glutes again, move them towards the center line rather than forward. But by doing that, you'll switch on and open up your hip flexors. Draw your tummies in towards your spine. So the arms are already connected. All we're doing here is thinking about raising up and opening up into a little bit of a back bend. So as you inhale, press gently into the heel of your hands. Use that to rebound off and raise up through the heart, keeping the chin quite tucked, not throwing the head backwards, and then exhale back down into neutral. So the hips and glutes stay connected, that bottom half is connected. You're rolling out from the middle of your spine upwards, really, into a bit of a back bend at the top. But as I say, the head can open a little bit from the back of the neck, or the front of the throat rather, but don't go too far with the head or you'll crunch the back of your neck. Inhale one more time, squeezing those elbows together. Exhale, back into neutral. And stay up, we're going to take a twist now. So when you're ready, inhale tall. Exhale, just rotate gently, taking the left shoulder back, keeping that stira in the bottom half from the waist down. Unusually, we're not moving through there, but you will feel the weight into your knee. Hold and stay and breathe, looking just gently towards your left. So your shoulders have moved, your body has twisted. There is a slight feeling of twisting through your right knee and thigh and hip. But you haven't gone too far that you're really pulling everything with you. Couple of breaths there, rotate back to the front. Exhale down. Inhale up, find that length and height and extension. Exhale, rotate to your right this time. We're going to take a couple of breaths here, but we're not forcing it. We're not going too far. Excuse me, we're just letting the right shoulder guide us. If you want to take your head with it a little bit, then that's fine. You put in a bit more twist through the neck, then the upper spine. Keep both knees connected, both feet connected, both glutes connected. Breathe. And then rotate back to the front slowly on the breath. And sit back down. And then let's come back down into child's pose. Bring the elbows to the floor. Take the head to the floor. Find the back of the body. Take 3 breaths here into the lower back. So find the Ujjayi breath strength you need. And really use the exhale to give and find that release through the lower back. Tummy should be engaged with the thighs, so you've got a little bit of support there, but there is still a feeling of it being switched on. Not completely, but just a little bit of a connection to support your lower back still. And then come up gently onto your elbows and walk them forward. And as you do so, your hips will raise up and we're coming up into puppy pose. So you want to walk forward until you feel your hips are above your knees again. Feet are going straight back. If you're not sure, just tuck your head and look back and check that you really shouldn't be able to see your feet and that your knees should be under your hips. Draw your tummy in to support your lower back. Make sure you've got the full length of the front body feeling so that you're not curled up at all. If you are, you need to take your elbows forward a little bit more. And then you can just stay here if you want to, or you can lower slowly your heart towards the floor, keeping that engagement through the hips and knees and feet. So it's just the upper body, we're lowering slowly towards the floor. And if you can come down towards the floor, you can even get your chin to the floor. Might not be for you this morning. Tuck your chin and hold the weight of your head otherwise. But feel as if you're putting in that cow back. That's this feeling you've got as you move your heart. It's melting heart is the other name for this one. So you then go back to your hips. They're still stacked over your knees, but there's a spreading sensation across your hips here as you bend forward. However far forward you've gone, don't worry if you're not near the floor, you're still getting that sensation of the heart moving forward. And then we're going to walk back up now. Moving back up. Coming back up into all fours, sorry. And then we're just taking a couple of cows here to release off the spine. So find neutral spine. I really feel that I've dipped there through the lower back, because that's just the position we've been in. So find your neutral spine again. Lift the tummy up to support the lower back. Move the sit bones slightly, a centimetre backwards, and feel them spreading. They're over your knees. You've got that tucked chin to support the weight of the head. And from this point, we're moving through cat-cow. So inhale neutral. Use your Ujjayi breath. Exhale and give the energy as you raise your heart up through your back, moving from the tail up through the body, up towards the crown. Head is allowed to roll down and look between your legs, maybe even. And then inhaling from the tailbone, moving back up through, receiving the energy as you move forward. Your heart comes between your arms, into cow, back into cat, giving the energy. Pushing down through your hands and knees, giving the energy back through the floor. Inhaling, receiving the energy. Moving your face towards the light almost. One more each, and thinking of your own points of reference for receiving and giving energy. Taking it really slowly on the Ujjayi breath. Each little point of your vertebrae receiving and giving. And then come back into neutral. Okay, so then sit back on your heels and find your bricks. We're going to go into Malasana here. I know some of us can put our feet on the floor, but let's all try with the bricks this morning for a little extra support. Maybe we'll find we can stay there longer. So you want your feet to come onto the bricks so that your heel is supported. Your feet are facing out the way, so the bricks have got to face in that direction too. Same opposite direction as it from your feet. So find your bricks and find your heels on your bricks. So you're up in the ball of your feet are facing outwards so that your legs then begin to open outwards. This is an easier way to do Malasana, to try and put your feet in the floor is quite strong. So from this point, we're much more upright feeling, hopefully. If it's enough for you here, just find the point that you feel comfortable with your hands, maybe in Anjali Mudra, so that you feel a little bit more stable with them. What we're thinking about is drawing the tummy inwards and rolling that undercarriage forward so that you get this sensation of opening in your inner thighs here. Think about rolling the heart towards the hands if you've got them in Anjali Mudra, and maybe using your upper arms just to gently open out your inner thighs a little bit more. So we're trying to think of a long front body. You won't get a whole long front body here unless you're very supple. Think about tucking the chin. Think about the back of the body. Try and draw up through the back of the spine from the tailbone. And then find the Ujjayi breath. And take 3 Ujjayi breaths here, thinking of receiving and giving energy. So as you receive, fill your body with that energy. Feel yourself swell. And as you give, feel yourself soften. Maybe you feel your heels get a little bit heavier into the bricks. Receive, spreading outwards and upwards and downwards. Exhaling, giving back what you don't need. One more breath, inhale, expanding, making space for the energy. Exhale, softening, giving it all back, saying thank you. And then come out of Malasana carefully, so hands to the floor. Take the bricks from under your feet and pop them in front of you now. And then gently push yourself up and come into wide-legged stance. So here your feet are now facing inwards slightly, with the toes coming towards each other slightly, rather than your heels being the coming inwards. Okay, so knees can be bent here. Bricks are under us. We will in a minute be doing golden seeds, so this will be useful for that. But here we're just thinking about using the bricks to just gently lengthen our body and cat-cow basically. So when you're ready, you find your inhale and push into the bricks. Maybe your legs straighten a little bit more, don't lock the knees. Reach out through the crown, reach out through the sit bones. Long front body. Exhale, soften, give back into the bricks. Bricks can be at a high height if you feel that's more comfortable, wherever you want them to be this morning. Inhaling, we're lengthening, a bit like Uttana Shishoshana. So when we do half forward fold, that feeling. And exhaling, we're softening. Everything softens. Every joint starts to soften as you exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Everything starts to rebound and connect, to gather the energy. Exhale, soften, releasing energy from every point of view. Take two more. Inhaling, feeling that connection, feeling that energy buzz through you as you receive it, and it moves through the whole of you. Exhaling, giving everything back from your toes right back up through, softening every joint. I think one more, I said. Real sort of ocean feeling again here as we're moving forward and backward like an ebb and flow. Okay, so then walk the feet back together, heel toe them back together, soften the knees into a nice soft bend, come into a forward fold, and then either sweep the arms up if you feel like it, or roll up, whichever you feel like this morning, to come back up to Tadasana. Gathering the energy, whichever way you come up, you're opening up and receiving the energy, and then exhaling and releasing back down. Okay, so we're already ready now for golden seed, which we're going to do a couple of rounds of. We'll take the first one a little bit slower just to cue it and remind you of it all, and remember it's about moving the feet. Golden seed, remember, is really flowy, so your feet should be able to move quite easily into the next position. It's not being so stable in one position that you can't then turn it to go into goddess. So remember, your feet should be really pliable and flexible here and light. Okay, so we start with feet together, shoulder distance apart. And we inhale and we gather that energy, receive the energy. Keep the shoulders away from the ears, so remember, just lifting through the shoulders. Turn the palms, give the energy. Take two more of those. Inhaling, receiving that energy, open the palms, lifting it up through. Imagine there's a weight on your palms or a weight under your palms now as you push the energy back down. Give the energy back. One more, thinking of lifting it up. Imagine there's a heavy ball in each hand as you lift up and gather that energy upwards. And one more, releasing, pushing that energy down, giving it back. And this time we're going up and we're crossing the hands just above the head. We're stepping out with the right foot and turning the feet ready to go into goddess. So pointing the feet outwards. And then we bend the knees and we take the hands out to the side and we push that energy away through the palms of our hands. Hands are flexed. Straighten back up, come back up, and keep your feet there, but come back up into 5-star. Same feeling again. So bending at the knees, bending at the elbows, and then pushing that energy away, giving the energy back. Back up into 5-star. Turn the feet forwards again. We're going to fold forward and come in to do elephant's trunk swing here. So bend the knees, folding forward at the hip flexors, keep the tummy engaged. Come down, place your right hand on a brick under your nose. And then twisting gently as we open up through the left side. Let the knees bend, let everything come with you. Look back up towards that hand if you can. Bring that arm down. Replace it on the brick and go the other way. So we're moving through. Feet are facing forward, remember now. If you're feeling it awkward, it's maybe because you haven't moved them. Come back down. Move the right hand onto the brick. Take another one to the left. Letting everything go with this twist. We're not holding anywhere. Everything's moving and mobile, flexible and supple and floaty. Use the Ujjayi breath as well, remember. And then come back down. We're coming up to bird now. So feet are still facing forward. Two choices, remember, with this. We either swing the arms through the legs or we take them out like bird's wings up behind us. Knees are bent. So as our knees are bent, we sweep the arms up in front of us, straighten the legs, pushing through the feet, reaching up with that energy up above us. And then we bend the knees, soften, decide where your arms are going, inside your legs or outside your legs. If they're outside, sweep them past the outside edge of your feet. Open the back of the legs as you reach up behind you with your hands, like a bird pecking. Take two more of those. Moving through, feel it like a rolling action here. Rolling the energy up, rolling the energy back as you soften through your hips. And then when you're down, you start to open through the back of the legs. Bend the legs again, sweep the hands by the side of the feet or inside the legs, bring them back up. Come back down one more time. Everybody now, hands come down between the feet. We gather that energy like it's a really big heavy ball, one palm on top of the other. Draw back up, push through the feet, gather that energy up. Turn the palms in so that the heels of the hands come together and we push the energy out and upwards. And then turn the palms to face downwards, draw that energy back round you, back in and back towards your belly and into you. Hands on top of each other on your tummy. Okay, so that was a slow-mo version. Hopefully now we've kind of got what we're doing with it. Okay, so we'll take it again. You're ready. Gather the energy up. Inhale, draw in, use your Ujjayi breath. Exhale, let the energy come back down. This time we're crossing the hands over the head. Inhale, gather the energy up, cross the hands above the head, turn the feet, get ready for goddess. Draw down as you exhale, bend elbows and then push the energy away as you inhale. Exhale there. Inhale, push through the feet, come back up into 5-star. Exhale, folding at the hip hinges. We're moving forward. You can soften your knees here if you need to. Turn your feet now forward. Bring the brick in front of you under your face. Right hand onto it. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Move the hands, change hands. Inhale, open. We'll take 2. Exhale, close, finding that Ujjayi breath again, remember. Inhale, 1 more to the left. Letting everything come with you. It's very soft and floaty, remember this sequence. Inhale, open, last one to the right. Exhale, back down. We're pushing back up into 5-star. And then we're coming down into bird. So choose your direction, choose your arms. Inhale, exhale, we roll down. We take the hands to wherever we're comfortable. Open up the back of the legs if you can. Soften the knees then as you roll forward. Inhaling, gathering the energy up. 1 more, so soften, exhale, roll down through, give yourself. And then inhale back up. We're coming down now to gather the energy. So in the next exhale, we fold again. You can soften the knees, remember. We catch the energy in that ball in our hands. We draw it up in an inhale. Turn the palms of the heels together. Exhale it away this time, up above your head. Inhale at the top. And then turn the palms, exhale, gather that energy back around you. If you've lost the breath, don't worry. It's hard because I'm cueing it when I'm not breathing. And bring the energy back to the tummy. And step the feet together, come back into Tadasana. I love that sequence. I actually want to do it 2 more times, but we haven't got time. So if you enjoy it as well, it's a nice one and quite an easy one to do just on its own without having to warm up too much. As long as you remember to bend knees, soften and move your feet, be very flowy and flexible in it. Okay, so we're going to take a roll down now and come back down onto the mat. So tuck the tummy, find that posture, tuck the chin, soften the knees, hands on thighs, everybody rolling down, letting go of any energy that we don't need here, any tied up energy in shoulders or hips, soften, bring the hands to the floor, bring yourself down onto the floor and come down onto your bottom. Keep your bricks handy, we might need them in a second. So on our bottom in Dandasana, all we're doing here is cow back. So it's hands behind us or slightly out to the side if you need to. Legs can be bent here with feet on the floor if you want, but wherever you are, I'd like you to think about flexing and pointing the feet with the movement. So it's 2 movements again. So as we inhale, we open up the front of the body and we point the toes away. So if you're sitting on the floor, that's fine. Feet are already on the floor pointing really. But then as we roll back down into neutral or even through into a cat back, you can draw the toes up towards you and draw your nose down towards your knees. And then open and point your toes, lift your heart, squeeze those shoulder blades together, draw the tummy in, don't stick it forward, we're not doming it. And then close by rolling down through the spine, or up through the spine rather, until the top of the spine starts to curve. Last toes are coming towards you then. Take one more, rolling out and opening, pointing, reaching through the heart, lifting it up as high as you can. And then come back down into neutral in the exhale. Bring yourself down onto the floor and ready for a bridge pose. So you know to bring your heels close to your bottom. Feet are hip distance apart, so everything's in line again between hips, knees and feet. Bring your hands to the floor, maybe pop your hands with your palms facing down. It gives you a bit more support, but it also connects you to what's supporting you and the feeling of that support. So remember your pelvic tilt here, just have a little play with that, draw the pelvic bone and the pubic bones up, the pubic bone rather than pelvic bones up towards your tummy button. Just play with that little roll in the lower back. And then be ready to start. We inhale. As we exhale, we pelvic tilt. As we inhale, we then press into the feet and roll the knees and the shins towards the wall in front of us. We squeeze on the glutes and gently lift up through the hip flexors, and then everything tumbles up towards your shoulders. And then we start at the shoulders or between the shoulders to roll down, placing the vertebrae very gently back down on the floor as we come down to the bottom and to our tailbone. So take 2 more of those in your own time. Thinking of receiving again, receiving energy as you lift up and inhale and lift the body upwards, taking everything and opening the front of the body while the back supports it. And then on the exhale, you're giving the back of your body back down to the floor, releasing all that was holding. Releasing all that energy you just used to lift yourself up. One more time, lifting, switching on, gathering that energy on the back of the body to lift and open and make the top body very light as it floats upwards. And then releasing on the exhale, Slowly letting the energy out of the back of your body as you replace it onto the floor. And release everything there at the bottom. Okay, so now we're going to try fish pose that I said we had practiced for a little bit. So fish pose, if you just have a quick look, I will demo this, I don't often demo, but fish pose, it's legs in front of you, toes pointed like we've just done, elbows come right under your body, so you're on your elbows, the back of your hands this time are against your bottom, so you have to kind of roll them in, so not the palms, but the back of the hands. You've got that still that connection that we did earlier, so your elbows, your upper arms are moving towards each other and you're opening up your front collarbones. So here you've already opened up the front of your body and your chin's tucked so that you've got the weight of the head, you're connected. You're not throwing your head back, remember, because that's really bad for the neck. So draw that chin in, support it. You can't open it slightly as long as you've still got that connection. You can keep the feet bent here. And that might be enough for you this morning. It's basically what we did kneeling. Otherwise, if you want to go a little bit more, you can come into this position and just lift. Or you can put your feet in, you can put your heels in the floor and you push into your heels and lift a little bit higher, using the back of your hands to push into the bottom. So you're raising the heart up, raising the center part of your spine as much as you can, opening your throat, but do be aware of that neck throat thing. I've got quite a strong neck, so be careful. So that would be the full pose. This might be enough for you, just thinking about drawing the heart up. So decide which one you want to try and give it a go. I'm not going to cue too much here. The weight should move into your elbows. Your feet should feel, I point mine, but they should feel quite relaxed. Some people put their head right to the floor. If you're able to do that, then do so. But I do say beware of the throat and the neck. If you're up and with your feet, you might can still reach your head back a little bit, but do beware you're not crunching the neck. So this is really just playing with those points that I've just said. If your knees are bent, you might just find it's enough to just draw your heart forward, come into that cow back feeling. If your legs are forward, you might want to just push a little bit more into the legs, lifting up through the body. Sorry, don't lift the hips. I don't know what I did that for. I wasn't aware of what I was doing. So we're moving, the feet are moving away. It's really an open body. On the front of the body, it feels really open. But do be aware of that throat thing. And once you've had enough, come out of it. Whichever position you chose. Again, online, it's a little bit difficult. I can't see what everybody's doing. So if anybody had any questions about that, please ask afterwards. Never take yourself through something that you feel is wrong. If we're doing it online, I can't always see and point that out. So always take the lower option and then play through the upper options. Okay, so once we've done that, let's come down, back onto the floor, roll onto our tummies. And let's bring ourselves into swimmer's pose this morning. So it's the same as half frog with the bottom leg for our cool down, is it? So you're taking one leg out to the side into like a goddess shaped leg. It's like half goddess actually. And then the head is on the floor facing that side. And your arm is in the same position as goddess on the same side. So we've got one long side and one goddess side. Heads turned to the side. And then just try and release. So if it feels a bit knobbly under knees, you might want to grab a soft cushion or move around on your mat until your goddess leg is definitely on the mat. So think about all that energy we've received now. Hopefully you can still feel the resonance of energy that we have received. It's out there all the time. When we ask for it, we get it. Sometimes we fill ourselves too much with the energy. And we don't know how to release it, but hopefully because you come onto the mat every day, you do know how to release that energy. Too much energy is just as bad for you as too little. And then swap sides into the other side now of swimmer or half goddess. Try and release through your hips. Done a lot of holding through the back of the lower back and the hips this morning. The glutes are huge big muscles and they're very helpful, but they also are quite difficult therefore to switch off maybe. So once they've been energized, try and release through your glutes, try and spread them as much as you can. Again, shoulders hold a lot of energy that we don't always need. Builds up into tightness, into tension, into stress, really, or stress causes it. It's a bit of a catch-22 one there. Tight shoulders make you stress. We try and release through these areas that we hold on to. And then roll when you're ready out of that position, move out of the position rather fast, and then roll onto your back. And take your feet to the width of the mat and just have a few windscreen wipers to release off through those hips. Still a little bit of holding and energy involved in doing this. We're still moving. You can't really move without using energy. Some days we don't feel like moving because we haven't got enough energy to do it, but use the breath is always the answer there. Make it nice and soft. Don't put too much effort into it. Don't use too much energy if you don't feel you've got it. Wait until you've received enough. And then come to neutral point. Bring the knees in one at a time to your chest, into Upanasana. Hands to the shins or just to the back of the thighs or just behind your knees. Clasp your palms between your calf and your thighs so that your shoulders can relax back down onto the floor. If you're holding your shins, you may find yourself putting energy through your shoulders. So try and release by popping your hands behind your thighs and clasping them there with your calves. And then just take some rolls from side to side. So rolling through the whole of the back and releasing and almost over to tipping point. Feeling it moving through your shoulders. If you're finding your shoulders are drawing up towards your ears, let them go. Try and soften through the shoulders. They're being held there by your legs, your hands. So your shoulders really need to be able to switch off. So that this massage works right across the back of the body. Let the back of your head move with it as well. Unless you get seasick, hopefully nobody does. And then slowly let the rocks just get a little bit slower and smaller until it comes to a very tiny rock and then to a standstill. And just stay there in Upanasana for a second, feeling that energy through your body. Is it open energy? Is it good energy? Being able to tell the difference between bad and good energy is really important as well. And release the feet one at a time to the floor. Stretch them away from you one at a time. Take the arms above the head. Elbows can be bent if you would rather. Try and place them on the floor, the back of the hands, the back of the forearm, the back of the upper arm. So your elbows might be really bent then. And then on an inhale, stretch them away from you, reaching out above your head, reaching out then through your heels on the inhale. And then exhaling, give that energy back and soften back into your original position. Take two more, extending and expanding and receiving as you inhale. Giving then on your exhale, releasing, letting all the joints soften again, everything draws back inwards. One more, really enjoying that nice openness as you find space to receive the energy you need. And then giving everything you don't need back to the floor as you exhale and soften. Keep the hands back down by the side. Let the feet come out to the width of the mat. Just let the feet fall out now. Let the shoulders tuck under and open out across the front of the body again. Open the palms out. Feel that energy release that you don't need from the palms of your hands. Or maybe you need to gather some more energy in. Find your Ujjayi breath again. Take it to a really soft whisper. And think about just receiving and giving whatever energy you feel you need now to get on with the day. Maybe you've already received enough. Maybe you just need to give and release before you start in the merry-go-round of the day. Find what you need. A whisper is often enough. Notice for the last 2 or 3 breaths if anything's still holding on around your hips. If it is, try and release it using your breath, trying to use the give the energy back on the exhale. Maybe around your jaw, maybe across your forehead, maybe your shoulders, wherever you need to place the breath to try and release any energy that's been held in there that becomes bad energy if it's stored too long. Try and release it. Try and find just that right balance before we move. And then let go of the breath if you're still controlling it. Maybe you've already let it go. You've found the balance. Stay there if you feel like it as usual. Otherwise, if you need to move on with the day, take it slowly into the day. Roll over slowly. Take a couple of breaths before you move up to sitting. It'll wait for you. Everything will wait for you. You don't need to rush ahead, even at Christmas time. The jobs will all get done. They've got done every year up until now. You know they'll get done. And what doesn't get done doesn't need to be done, basically. So take your right hand energy and your left hand energy and place them together and complete that balance of energy on both sides. Place them together in Ujjayi mudra. Bring your heart energy towards your thumbs to join that energy. Breathe in. Receive your last energy here on the mat this morning, but not the last energy of the day, hopefully. And exhale, release. Give that energy back that you don't need. Thank you, everybody, for your practice. Hope you feel completely balanced now. See you tomorrow evening. Don't forget the invitation. And namaste.